Good evening, everyone. This is my terminal paper in Peace and Global Education. My name is Hannah P. Puliga, and this is my presentation about peace education across nations, a comparative analysis. Objectives. First, to compare the goals and approaches of peace education in developed, developing, and underdeveloped countries. Second, to analyze the impact of political, economic, and social factors on the implementation of peace education across different country categories. And third is identify the key challenges and opportunities for promoting peace education globally, emphasizing the need for context-sensitive strategies. Peace education, a multifaceted endeavor aimed at fostering the knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values necessary to prevent conflict and build peaceful societies, manifests diversely across the globe. This reflection examines the landscape of peace education in three categories of countries: developed, developing, and underdeveloped. By analyzing their goals, approaches, challenges, opportunities, and specific program examples, we can gain a deeper understanding of the contextual factors shaping peace education initiatives. Furthermore, a comparative visual presentation will highlight the similarities and differences in their implementation. Developed countries, for example, Canada, Japan, Sweden. Goals and approaches. In developed countries, peace education often focuses on promoting values like tolerance, empathy, human rights, and global citizenship. The approach tends to be integrated within existing curricula, often through subjects like social studies, history, and civics. There's an emphasis on critical thinking, conflict resolution skills, and understanding global issues like climate change and social justice as interconnected with peace. Key challenges and opportunities. Challenges can include maintaining relevance in relatively stable societies and addressing issues like social inequality and discrimination within their own borders. Opportunities lie in leveraging well established educational infrastructures, access to resources, and the potential for integrating technology into peace education programs. Impact of political, economic, and social factors. Stable political systems and strong economics often allow for consistent funding and integrate of peace education into national policies. Socially, diverse populations necessitate addressing issues of multiculturalism and inclusion within peace education frameworks. Peace education programs initiatives. In Canada, integration of Indigenous perspectives and reconciliation into the curriculum, promoting understanding and addressing historical injustices. In Japan, emphasis on Hiroshima and Nagasaki atomic bomb education to foster a culture of peace and anti-nuclear sentiment. In Sweden, strong focus on human rights education and promoting democratic values through school curricula. For developing countries like Brazil, India, and Nigeria, goals and approaches. Peace education in developing countries often addresses more immediate challenges related to conflict, violence, and social fragmentation. Goals may include promoting intergroup dialogue, reconciliation, and addressing issues like ethnic tensions, political instability, and resource scarcity. Approaches can involve community-based initiatives, teacher training focused on conflict-sensitive pedagogy, and integrating peace messages into formal and non-formal education systems. Key challenges and opportunities. Significant challenges include limited resources, inadequate infrastructure, political instability, and the urgency of addressing immediate conflict situations. Opportunities lie in the potential for peace education to contribute directly to conflict prevention and social cohesion, leveraging community networks and adapting programs to local contexts. Impact of political, economic, and social factors. Political instability and corruption can hinder the implementation and sustainability of peace education programs. Economic disparities can exacerbate conflicts and limit access to education. Social divisions often necessitate peace education that directly addresses these fault lines. Peace education programs or initiatives. Brazil. Initiatives addressing gang violence and promoting a culture of peace in marginalized communities through educational and social programs. India. Programs focus on interfaith dialogue and promoting tolerance in regions with a history of religious conflict. In Nigeria, efforts to integrate peace education into school curricula in regions affected by ethnic and religious violence, focusing on conflict resolution and reconciliation. Underdeveloped countries like Afghanistan, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Somalia. Goals and approaches. In underdeveloped countries, often characterized by ongoing conflict, poverty, and weak governance, peace education frequently focuses on immediate survival and addressing the trauma of violence. Goals may include psychosocial support, basic conflict resolution skills for survival, and fostering a sense of hope and resilience. Approaches often involve non-formal education through NGOs and community-based organizations addressing the needs of displaced populations and child soldiers. Key challenges and opportunities. Overwhelming challenges include ongoing conflict, lack of security, extreme poverty, limited access to education, and the psychological trauma experienced by the population. Opportunities, though limited, exist in the potential for peace education to provide crucial psychosocial support, prevent further violence, and lay the groundwork for future reconciliation and development when stability returns. Impact of political, economic, and social factors. Protracted conflict and political instability severely hindered the development and implementation of systematic peace education. Extreme poverty limits resources and access to education. Deep-seated social divisions and trauma require highly specialized and context-sensitive peace education approaches. Peace education programs or initiatives. In Afghanistan, programs providing psychosocial support to children affected by conflict and promoting basic conflict resolution skills in communities. In Democratic Republic of Congo, initiatives focus on the mobilization and reintegration of child soldiers, including trauma healing and vocational training. In Somalia, community-led efforts to promote dialogue and reconciliation among clans, often utilizing traditional conflict resolution mechanism alongside basic peace education. Here is the table comparing peace education in three categories of countries: developed, developing, and underdeveloped would be clearly labeled. The four key features from the table above is access, government support, curriculum, measurable outcomes would be presented as access or segments. In access, developed countries would show high access, developing countries, moderate and uneven access, and underdeveloped countries, very low access. In government support, developed countries would show strong support, developing countries, moderate and variable support, and underdeveloped countries, weak or minimal support. In curriculum, developed countries would be characterized by integrated and values-based content, developing countries by conflict focus and context-specific content, and underdeveloped countries by basic survival and psychosocial support. In measurable outcomes, developed countries would focus on long-term attitudinal and behavioral changes, developing countries on tangible reductions in violence and improved relations, and underdeveloped countries on immediate well-being and basic skills. In conclusion, peace education is not a monolithic entity, but rather a dynamic and context-dependent field. The goals, approaches, challenges, and opportunities for peace education vary significantly across developed, developing, and underdeveloped countries, largely shaped by their unique political, economic, and social realities. While developed nations often focus on fostering global citizenship and addressing social inequalities within stable systems, developing countries grapple with immediate conflict prevention and social cohesion in resource-constrained environments. Underdeveloped countries face the most daunting challenges, often prioritizing basic survival and psychosocial support amidst ongoing violence. The comparative analysis highlights the need for tailored and context-sensitive peace education strategies. While some universal principles exist, effective implementation requires a deep understanding of the specific challenges and opportunities within each context. International collaboration, resource allocation, and a commitment from governments and civil society are crucial for advancing peace education globally and fostering a more peaceful and just world. Thank you, and I hope you learned something about these countries.